Hi, Orange Girl here with another scrapbooking process video for you. I am working with a file from the Cut Shop. It is an International Scrapbooking Day, Saturday and Sunday, May 4th and 5th, and we are celebrating with a 50% discount as well as 4 free cut files over at the Cut Shop. I'll link all that below. I'm using one of those files today. It's called Fabulous Floral. I'm also using these 4 photographs of my daughter from a few years ago, 3 years ago to be exact. And it was May, actually, 3 years ago, yeah. So I went ahead and I cut this cut file using white cardstock. Then I recut it. In the software, I took out all the insides of the cut file. And so then when it cut it only cut around the edges so that it would leave basically what I was going to use to back the flowers. Then I cut off the areas that I wanted for the leaves because there's leaves all around the outside here. So that's what you saw me cutting off there. And I'm using another paper to back those leaves. Both of these papers and all of the products that I'm using are actually from Cocoa Vanilla Studios, or most of the products are from Cocoa Vanilla Studios Happiness Collection. And then I am also, I'm using the kit that I got from Clique kits, and they had an exclusive kit for National Scrapbooking Day. That's what I'm using. And so I'm going ahead and I'm just backing that file, and it's super, super, super easy when you pre-cut it like that using the software. So in the beginning, I thought I was going to use these 4 photos of my daughter, and I was going to use a white background and maybe do some mixed media behind it. That was my idea, and I liked this. This was okay. But then this little happy accident happened. That paper was sitting there. This is the other side of that Cocoa Vanilla Studio paper that I used to back my flowers. And then the white that you see there, I just ripped off the other side of it, and it is the piece of cardstock that I used to cut the white flowers, and they were both just laying there on my desk. And so I just was like, oh, I kind of like that. I like the way it's kind of wonky and just ripped. And so I started by just trying to paste these together. And it doesn't really work because you can kind of see through behind the flowers, you can see it. So I ripped that off, and then I went ahead and grabbed another piece of cardstock, and now I'm ripping that piece to kind of mimic what I had naturally before and roughing that up just a little bit. And then I'm going to add this little piece so that the pink is what you'll see behind those flowers there. Okay. So then I'm going to so that's going to be my background, and I don't end up using any mixed media actually on this on the background, no paint at least. So I went ahead and I used this craft foam, and I just cut it up. It has adhesive on one side. I just get it at Michael's, and it's very inexpensive, and I just get it there, and I cut it up and put it behind the flowers so that the flowers are standing up just a little bit. And now I'm using all of these gorgeous florals that come in the with the collection in the Clique kit for this National Scrapbooking Day. And I'm using all of those, or as many of those as I'm just kind of moving them around and trying to decide. And I kind of had a hard time deciding what I was going to do. I knew I wanted to do something in the top right and something in the bottom left, but nothing was working out exactly how I wanted. But I knew I wanted these florals, the cut file there, and so I just went ahead and glued that down. And then I'm going to go ahead and add 3 different colors of thread behind my 3 photos. I did end up deciding that 3 photos were better than 4, which oftentimes is what I end up doing, but I decided that I would go with that. So I took out my least favorites and then went ahead, and now I'm putting blue behind the left photo, and I'm putting a little tangled thread behind the middle photo that is pink, and then a little blue up right there behind that flower. And then I change out that blue right there that I had behind that photo, and I'm going to actually put some orange behind there because there were orange in some of the flowers There's a little hint of orange in some of the flowers behind the cut file, the papers behind the cut file, but then also in the empty flowers. They're or not empty, the die cut flowers. Those also had some orange in them if I chose those ones, and I thought I liked the look of those three colors together. So I was having a little bit of problem here with my tangled thread. Off camera, I'm not sure why it was off camera. I must not have been running the camera at the time. I put a little bit of tissue paper behind the photos, and then I put the bottom part of those photos, I put some of that same craft foam on it, so it'd be the same height as the cut file. So now I decided I was going to go ahead and rip the corner. I like this a lot. It matches kind of the idea of the ripping behind the cut file, and I've been doing it a lot on layouts lately. I just like the look of it. I like how it makes all these flowers, which are just so pretty, and my daughter looks so pretty and cute and girly and all of that, and then it adds this ripped element that adds a little bit of a mess that matches kind of the tangled thread and some of that kind of thing. So I go ahead and rough up both of those corners there, and I'm adding a little bit of a navy kind of paper behind the top right, and then more of the pink behind the bottom left. And I just add that in, and then that really helped me figure out what I was going to do with the flowers a little bit more. I'm going to wait on that just a second, because I really didn't need as many flowers now that I had that tangled or that torn piece up in the corner. So my title isn't super original, it's just Flower Child, and I'm using some alphas that I think I actually got in a different Clique kit. And they're navy, which is why I chose the navy up in the upper right corner. There's a little bit of that in the flowers too, behind the cut file there. And then I pulled, I think I end up with a navy butterfly eventually here when I remember that I have the stickers, which will come up here in a second. So right now I'm kind of messing more with the die cuts, and these butterflies are great, but they were kind of big, I felt like, in the space that I was using. So then at some point here, you'll see me kind of like go, oh, with my hands, like, oh, I just remembered I have the stickers and I'm going to use those. So anyway, let's see that was it right there. I was like, oh, I have the stickers. So I grabbed the stickers, and then there was an orange and yellow kind of like that one right there, the butterfly that I'm going to put right there by the title to kind of anchor the title. I was trying several different things to put underneath that title to anchor it, and I'm still working on that a little bit. But then there was a little bit smaller navy butterfly, and then a pink and orange butterfly kind of end up in the top left corner. And then I don't even feel like I need that big flower. I end up with just using mostly the little flowers. I think I add another big flower in the bottom left though. But anyway, so let's see. So I was trying to anchor behind or underneath Flower Child. I wanted something under there. So I grabbed some of the die cuts, and I like those, but I end up going in a different direction here in just a second. What I'm doing here now is I'm adding a little bit of foam adhesive behind the butterfly's wings, and I will glue those down, and that will make them stick out a little bit, give it a little bit of dimension. I like the way it looks like they're flying and coming off the page a little bit. So the title is driving me absolutely crazy at this point because these alphas are so thin, and they just don't stick very well. And so I needed to glue them down. And so I just was like, I just need to do this before I move on any further. So I go ahead and glue those down, and I used my what is that called? T-square ruler to make sure that the words Flower Child are straight. And now I'm going to just go ahead. I sped this up a lot because I was just kind of working really slowly and not doing much except moving stuff around. So you could kind of see my process still, but it wouldn't take you so long to watch it. So as I was doing this, I found the hearts, and I started putting the hearts kind of in the little clusters, and then I realized the hearts were exactly what I needed under the word flower child. So I chose a phrase from that sticker sheet that says happy little moments. And then I added these 3 little hearts underneath. And off camera, I stitched through the words flower child and I stitched through those hearts. And right now I'm just adding some sequins and call it done. The sequins also came in that Clique kit. And then that's pretty much it. The close-ups are going to come here in just a second. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you join us over at the Cut Shop. We're having a great time over there. There are several different uh, challenges going on. I think my challenge that has to do with this layout will go live on Sunday. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and I will see you in my next video. Happy International Scrapbooking Day.